refereeing, umpiring baseball, refereeing football, coaching basketball. I was involved in my neighborhood associations, always trying to make the community better. And I don't think there's a better job as to be a city manager and can make significant improvements in the communities that you have managed. In my career, I've been able, and the staff and I've been able to get, $1.2 billion in project money. I've replaced two wastewater treatment plants. The biggest was 450 some million dollars in Reading, Pennsylvania. And you could look back and say, I had something to do with that. I can tell my children and my grandchildren, that their father or grandfather was involved in these projects that made the community better. I mean, I didn't take this job blindfolded. This is a very difficult community, and I'm still trying to figure out why and what is holding us back. I know trust is a major issue in this community. People don't trust the government. They don't trust the elected officials. They question every project, even if it's good for them, they would be against it. For me, I can't understand why. I've kept an eye on Cambridge for about 40 years, and I've seen the ups and downs and the sideways. This is probably one of the most challenging communities I've worked in, and I will tell people that because there are so many issues going on and so much that has been delayed, kicked down the road, where now the can is coming back at you, and lack of investment in issues. Yet Cambridge, I think anybody who comes into Cambridge will say it's a nice place. Why, we want to invest in here. The community is growing. Yes, things have been positive. You see what's going on out on Route 50 with the change even in the last 5 years.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty great.
And what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of that effort was by city staff who helped put together funding packages or encouraged the development out there to make it happen. And I don't think the city's story is being told properly of what the city is doing. We have a lot of needs, but we have a lot of wants. And right now, from my perspective, I need to put more effort into the needs. And the wants are maybe a little secondary, not saying they're not going to happen, but we have a lot of needs that must be addressed. Well, what some of the priorities that were outlined originally have been, I have to say, are being pushed aside. I mean, getting back into City Hall, which is old City Hall, which is very important to me. Well, the Trenton Street pump station is the #1 priority on my list right now. We also have the Shoreline Resiliency Project, which I think overall is one of the best plans that I've seen, but there is community pushback. Then we have, we're trying to get the CWDI project moving forward, because when I first got here, we were still in a court case with them, and that's now been resolved, and things are moving forward. But some people are impatient that things haven't moved fast enough. Well, let's pause a little bit and say, okay, we went through COVID, then we went through a lawsuit. That definitely slowed the process down. But trust is not going to be won overnight, and we need to get some long delayed projects moving. Trenton Street Pump Station is one of those projects that's been talked about for more than a few years. It went out to bid, then the bids came in higher, and then nothing happened. And of course, everybody then develops their theories on why it didn't move forward. Well, I think we are. we are now meeting once a month. There'll probably be come a time when we're going to be meeting twice a month. We're trying to get people informed. We're working on a strategic plan. The staff just wrapped up what their top issues were, and I'll be meeting with the council in December. They need to fully buy into this and to go back to their constituency and say, this is why we're doing it. And that's the most important role that, in my opinion, a council person has. And I say that as someone who has been a council person. The city has 47 grants outstanding, some from 2017. That tells me that we have not accomplished a lot of those projects, or we've not properly closed out the grants. And that is a big focus right now, because if we don't get these grants completed, it's very hard for the state to say, okay, we're going to give you more money, Cambridge, but you really haven't you closed out, or you haven't spent this grant down. The resiliency project, there is money there to do the design. There is not enough money to do the project right now. There was, and it's not because of, and I'll say, I got to back up. The money to fund that project was taken away by the Trump administration. They took Chris Fields and they took ours. Now, additional money is going to be needing, because we're looking at a living shoreline, which is important for when we have these storm events, that'll absorb some of the wave action that we have. Also, it helps for fishing. It encourages fish to come in, and this is a fishing community. In 2007, they had a price of around $3 million to fix Old City Hall. Nothing happened. It's now 2025. We're looking at probably 8 to 10, closer to $10 million to get the project done. And that's, a historic building. It was built by the architect of that building, was the same who helped design University of Maryland. So there's a lot of history there.